Good day everyone. Welcome to Teacher Julie channel. Hello everyone. We have our new lesson in MAPEH 8, which is all about theater, the Chinese Beijing opera, Indian Kathakali, and Japanese no theater. This will be the second quarter topic, week 3 and 4, days 7 and 8, and this lesson is under the Matatag curriculum. For the objectives, by the end of the lesson, 80% of the learners will be able to. First is to identify the historical origins, elements, and unique characteristics of Beijing opera, Kathakali, and no theater. The second one is to perform short excerpts or improvised scenes that apply traditional performance techniques in a culturally respectful manner. And the third one is to show appreciation and respect for the cultural heritage expressed in traditional Asian theater by answering the lesson activity. For the explicitation, so let's talk about the Chinese Beijing opera. So Beijing opera, also known as Peking opera, is a traditional form of Chinese theater that combines various art forms including music, vocal performance, mime, dance, and aerobics. It originated in the late 18th century during the Qing dynasty and become fully developed in the 19th century. The following are the some key aspects of Chinese Beijing opera. So the first one is the distinctive performance style. So Beijing opera is characterized by its highly stylized performances, elaborate costumes, colorful makeup, and exaggerated movements. Performers use a combination of singing, speech, and gestures to convey emotions and tell stories. Another key aspects of the Chinese Beijing opera is the four main rules. So traditionally, Beijing opera performances feature four main types of rules: the Xing, which is the male roles; the Dan, which is the female roles; the Jing, painted face male roles; and Chu, which is the clown roles. Each type of rule has its own distinctive characteristics and performance techniques. Another some keys of Chinese Beijing opera are the stories and the themes. So Beijing opera draws its story from Chinese history, mythology, legends, and classical literature. Another key aspects of the Chinese Beijing opera are the instruments and the music. So the music in Beijing opera is performed using traditional Chinese instruments such as the erto, which is the two-string fiddle, paipa or the lute, and the gong, which is the percussion. Another some key aspects of the Chinese Beijing opera are the training and the mastery. So becoming a Beijing opera performer, it requires years of rigorous training in singing, acting, martial arts, and acrobatics. Another some key aspects of Chinese Beijing opera is the cultural heritage. So Beijing opera is considered one of the quintessential art forms of Chinese culture and has been recognized as an intangible cultural heritage by UNESCO. Despite modernization and changes in Chinese society, it continues to be cherished and preserved as a cultural arts. Another lesson to be discussed is the Indian Kathakali. So Kathakali is highly stylized classical Indian dance drama that originated in the state of Kerala in southern India. Kathakali emerged in the 17th century, blending elements of dance, music, theater, and ritualistic storytelling. It has its roots in ancient Sanskrit theatrical traditions, folk dances, and martial arts. The following are the some key features of Indian Kathakali. So the first one is elaborate costumes and makeup. So one of the most striking aspects of Kathakali is its elaborate costumes and makeup. So performers wear colorful and intricately designed costumes, often adorned with jewelry and accessories. Another key features of Indian Kathakali are the mudras and the gestures. Kathakali is known for its elaborate hand gestures known as mudras, which are used to convey emotions, actions, and characters. Another key features of Indian Kathakali are the facial expressions and the eye movements. So the facial expressions and the eye movements in the Kathakali are highly expressive and play a crucial role in the conveying of emotions and telling stories. Another key features of Indian Kathakali is the narrative themes. Kathakali typically depicts stories from Hindu mythology, epics such as Ramayana and Mahabharata, and other traditional texts. The performance often explore themes of love, devotion, valor, and the triumph of good over evil. Another key features of the Indian Kathakali is the accompaniment. So Kathakali performances are accompanied by live music, typically featuring traditional Kerala percussion instruments such as the chenda, which is the drum, and madalam, which is the barrel-shaped drum, as well as vocalists singing in the Carnatic classical style. Another Indian Kathakali features are the training and the performance. So becoming a Kathakali performer, it requires years of rigorous training and dedication. So students undergo training in dance, music, acting, and makeup under the guidance of experienced gurus, which is the teachers, within a traditional teacher-disciple relationship. Another topic to be discussed is all about the Japanese No theater. No is a traditional form of Japanese theater that has been performed for over 600 years. No originated in the 14th century, primarily developed by Kanami Kiyotsugo and his son Jiami Motokeo. It flourished during the Muromachi period and has remained an important part of Japanese cultural heritage ever since. The following are the overview of its key features in Japanese No theater. So the first one is the blend of the elements. So No combines elements of dance, drama, music, and poetry. It is characterized by its minimalist stage setting, slow and deliberate movement, and symbolic use of masks and costumes. Another key features of Japanese No theater are the themes and the stories. So No plays typically draw upon Japanese mythology, folklore, history, and literature. Common themes include the supernatural, tragic love stories, and encounters between the living and the dead. Many No plays feature spirits, ghosts, and deities. Another key features of Japanese No theater are the rules and the characters. So No performances involve a small cast of characters, usually including the main character, who often portrays a ghost or spirit, and the waki, which is the secondary character, who serves as the narrator or interlocutor. And other roles include the shuri, which is the companion, and the kyujin, which is the comic relief. Another key features of Japanese No theater are the music and the chanting. So No is accompanied by a specific style of vocal chanting called the otai, performed by the actors. So the music is played on traditional Japanese instruments such as the flute, drums, and the string instruments. Another key features of the Japanese no theater are the masks and the costumes. So no actors wear masks to represent their characters, with each mask conveying specific emotions and characters. The costumes are elegant and symbolic, often featuring richly embroidered silk robes and elaborate headdresses. Another key features of Japanese no theater are the training and the mastery. So becoming a no actor, it requires years of rigorous training and apprenticeship under a master. Training typically includes learning various forms of movement, mastering vocal techniques, and studying repertoire of no plays. Another key features of the Japanese no theater is the preservation and also the modern influence. So despite its ancient origins, no continues to be performed and preserved in Japan. It has also influenced modern theater, dance, and literature both within Japan and internationally. For the work example, to keep the students engaged and interested in the lesson, let them watch the following theatrical performances from different Asian regions. And for the lesson activity, trace the connection between traditional folk performing and visual arts of Asia and emerging creative concepts, processes, and practices by answering the following guide questions below. Hello everyone, thank you for watching, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.